Hi guys, welcome to Fierce and Pretty. Honey here, and today this video is gonna be just a quick update on my garden plans for my new Witchy Garden at the new place. So this weekend I've been prepping and reading these books to get inspiration, and the whole gardening process needs to move in several phases, and the majority of things that I wish to be growing in my garden still need to wait another year. Like all the flowers that I want to grow in my garden, if I want to use them in like flower essences, where I get my inspiration from this new book from Nicholas Pearson that I got. So those won't be this year's plans, but still I need to think about when I'm going to plant the plants that I can this summer. But the majority of my inspiration for this year is coming from Finnish nature. And I know that these books are not particularly interesting to people outside of Finland, but I would highly recommend you to find books about the medicinal plants of your area if you can. They don't need to be like magical books, even though all of these have a magical twist. Even this one that is called the Health Plants of Finland, which is from the 80s, but it has this little witches section at the end, because the magical use of plants is so rooted in our history that you can even find it in non-magical books. But my plans for this, first planting cycle is to collect free plants from nature that the common people think as weeds. I have plans to harvest them on midsummer, because midsummer here in Finland is a big thing, even for non-magical folks. And so I think Litha is perfect time for me to go in the early morning dusk to collect some baby plants. So take these weeds with a shovel and take them with their roots and bring them to my home. But the important thing is that I need to go and collect these plants from places where people don't walk their dogs, because I don't want plants that are covered in dog pee or poo, and also outside of the roads, because I don't want any pollution on the plants either. But luckily I live in such an area where this is totally possible. And collecting these weeds is not harmful for anybody, because anyway, when the people come with the machines that they clean the roadsides, they're gonna cut these plants down anyway. So technically I'm just rescuing them to my garden. I love the fact that this is something that I can do that is perfectly free, but I want to have these. Of course I would have always the opportunity to go and pick these plants from where they grow in the nature, but I also want to have the resources in my garden to go and pick these plants from my own yard whenever I need them, and without any concern that there is like pee or poo in them. These simple plants that I'm gonna move to my yard would be things that normal people are plucking out of their yards. So I'm gonna have some nettles, and because I want to drink nettle in teas and whatever, so I really want them to be clean. It's different when you do something like an incense that you're not gonna put in your body, but when you're putting the plant in your body, then you would love it to be fresh. So I'm gonna move some pretty nettle babies to my garden, and then also some mugwort, so Artemisia vulgaris. Mugwort is really common here. It grows all the ditches next to roads, wherever. Today I was walking my dog and I saw like 1,000 mugworts or something like that. So I'm gonna transfer some mugwort into my garden. And because I practiced during last winter and saw that what plants that I planted last year into my pots would survive the winter. And actually, the wormwood was the only one that is still alive, and it's still outside in the pot. So it survived the harsh winter, and we had cold and snowy winter. So the wormwood is also gonna be planted in the garden. And the third plant that I'm gonna, move to my garden in this first stage is yarrow. Because yarrow also is really common in Finland. We do have the white and the pink ones. Probably not all this pink, but these light pink yarrows. So some of them will also be, rehomed to my garden. And all this for free. And then I have some plans for trees also to the garden. I want to have a rowan tree growing in my garden. I'm not sure if there might be a rowan tree, but if not, I will go and find a little baby rowan somewhere and, just move it. And the baby oak tree that I've had in my pot will also be planted. So this is just something that I can do while waiting and, get some things with the garden also going this year. And of course I'm gonna do a little herb garden when we get there, like basils, mints, those, also that I can use in cooking, but also in magical purposes. But those need to be either planted from the seeds, or then I'm just gonna get these baby herbs from the store and plant them in some soil. But they need to be in these gardening boxes, because the ground in my garden isn't the best for herbs. It's a bit dry, wild, because we get a lot of pine trees, so it's got, I think it's acid in the soil in English. So it's not going to be the perfect growing ground for everything. But at least these weeds that I showed you that grow all over Finland in the nastiest environments, I'm pretty sure that they are gonna flourish in my garden and be, a really natural Finnish part of my garden. And then of course I have some plants that I've been growing inside the house in pots, like my rue. I have 3 rues now that, they're starting to look sturdy enough to go into the soil. And also the hyssop and the rosemary that I planted on Ostara are, big enough to go outside. And let's see how they do in the Finnish summer outside. And what else is going on with the new house? The bathtub is here. I haven't seen it yet. It's still in a cardboard box, so that's nerve-wracking. So my copper bathtub and my sink are here. Today the hubby is gonna pick up our new garden furniture. So we're gonna have a, sofa, dining table, things like that in the garden straight away. And also my massive rug from my grandma is now here. It only needs to get washed and cleaned, so then it's ready for my magical room. And I've been prepping something every day, but in midsummer I'm gonna devote my time for my garden. But I guess that was all from today. Until next time. Bye guys.